Which bots matter the most for SEO and for AI search or GEO? Now, before we get into the specific bots that we need to think about and optimize for, I want to take a quick step back and answer a few fundamental questions that I've heard come up around bots for SEO and GEO. So first question is, what exactly is a bot? So a bot is a software program that's been created by Google, by OpenAI, Bing, Meta, and others. And the job of this software program is to perform some sort of automated task. And the automated task we care the most about for SEO or GEO is fetching content from websites. So Google has created programs that are designed to fetch websites' content and bring it back in to their systems for further processing. And those are the bots that we're paying attention to. And that's really what we're talking about, is those software programs. And that's what we need to optimize for and make sure those software programs are able to work with our website correctly. Next question that I've heard people ask is, how exactly are bots identified? We have all these different bots. They have all these different names. Where exactly is that coming from? So a bot identifies itself when crawling a website by declaring what's called a user agent. And a user agent is passed through to the server. So when the bot is making a request, one of the things it sends the server is it says, "This is who I am," by stating that user agent value. And so that user agent value can be thought of as basically the bot's name. So for example, Google has a bot that they send out called Googlebot Smartphone. Googlebot Smartphone is what's passed in the user agent string. So as we think about bots, there's sort of this underlying assumption that, well, of course, for SEO and GEO, we need bots crawling our website. But why exactly are bots crawling our website? Why is this what we are paying so much attention to? So there's a few things to think about here. So first thing is that bots from search engines and AI systems, they need to fetch our website's content so that way they can find all of our website's content, right? That way they can find all of our content, our pages, our images, our videos, whatever else we have, and make sure that that can be included in search results and in AI responses. But along with crawling our website one time to get that content, bots also need to come back to our website to check for any updates. So they need to check and see, okay, has anything changed here? If so, they need to update their databases correctly so that way those changes, those updates are reflected in search results and in AI responses. But there's other things that bots are trying to figure out too when they're crawling our websites. One of the things that they're trying to figure out is what this website is actually talking about. What's the topic that this website is focused on, or topics that this website is focused on? And by trying to understand that, they're trying to put this website into some sort of context with the web at large. So how does this website fit in with everything else? And as a result, bots need to crawl our website quite a bit to gather that information, to understand that context, to identify those topics, to see how our website works. So if robots from search engines and AI systems are not able to crawl our website successfully, right, there's something that prevents them from being able to do so, then the search engine won't be able to index or rank our website. The AI system won't be able to include our website in training material or in its knowledge base, so we won't surface in citations or be mentioned in responses. And that presents a really big problem. So that's where, as we think about all the things that we can do for technical SEO and all the things we can do for the technical side of AI search, this really is the most fundamental level, the most important level, because if bots cannot successfully access your website, nothing else matters. You may have the best content in the world. You may have the best authority in the world. You may have the best website within your particular industry talking about your particular topics. But that doesn't matter if bots can't access the website and fetch the website's content. Okay, so if bots are this important and we want to make sure that bots have that much access to our website, well, why not have bots have full access to our website, right? And why not let them see everything and make it unrestricted? And the problem here is that bots consume a lot of server resources, right? So when a bot hits our website, it's not just that they're fetching the text from our website, they have to load all of our CSS files and all of our JavaScript files and all of our images, right? So they're making a lot of hits to our website. And each of those hits has a cost with our server resources. And so we have to balance the cost of running that server and handling that bot traffic while also making sure that bots are getting enough from our website as well, right? We can't just let them see everything and crawl as much as they want to, because if we let them see everything and crawl as much as they want to, we might exceed our server capacity. And that's going to have downstream effects by slowing down the server for people who are coming into the website who are not bots. It might also slow down the website for other bots as well. And right now, there are a lot of bots crawling websites, right? Most studies right now are showing that at least more than half of all website traffic is bot activity. On some sites I've looked at, 70 to 80% of traffic coming into the website is bot activity. So that's eating up a lot of server resources. And that's something that we have to make sure that we're balancing out to ensure that our website is actually going to support bot and human activity coming in correctly. We really have to prioritize what they're allowed to see and what they're not allowed to see. And there are certain kinds of files that we just don't need bots crawling. We don't need them paying attention to, and we can restrict access there safely without impacting performance in search results or AI responses. Okay, with all of that context in mind, let's talk about the bots that really matter and the ones that we need to pay the most attention to for SEO and AI search. So let's start with Google. So Google uses different user agents for different purposes. Their primary bots for organic search are divided out by device type. So we have a bot with the user agent Googlebot Smartphone. This is their primary search crawler for mobile devices, and it's the one that will probably be crawling your website the most when you go through and evaluate all of your different bots. We also have Googlebot Desktop, which is Google's primary search crawler for desktop websites. So Googlebot Smartphone comes in and looks at your website in smartphone dimensions, right? And then Googlebot Desktop comes in and looks at it at the wider screen size. Google also has bots for specific content types. So we've got Googlebot Image, which is used to crawl images. Googlebot Video is used to crawl videos. We also have the Google Inspection Tool. So Google Inspection Tool is the crawler used for Google's testing products. So Rich Results Testing Tool, the Google Inspect in Google Search Console, that's all coming in from the Google Inspection Tool. So that one's one to pay attention to and make sure you allow it access, because you're going to need access to that when you're evaluating your website. Now, you'll also hear some people talk about Google Extended. This isn't quite the same thing as a bot, right? It's not actually a real bot. Instead, Google Extended is a name that we can use on our robots.txt file to control whether Google's bots are allowed to crawl our website and fetch content to include our website's content in AI training. So we can block Google Extended to say, hey, don't include us in AI training material, but we can allow other Google bots to be included in search results. Google Extended, though, is not a real user agent, so you're never going to see this in your website's log files when you're actually evaluating crawl activity, right? So this is only a name used, but not actually a real bot. Next, we have Bing. So Bing crawls the web similarly to Google, aiming to find content to rank in search results. They crawl with one user agent for all different purposes, and that user agent's name is BingBot. Unlike Google, Bing does not differentiate the user agent based on the type of content being crawled, the device being crawled, the way in which things are being crawled, or the purpose of those crawls, right? So we only have BingBot to think about here. Next, let's look at OpenAI. So OpenAI, ChatGPT, has multiple bots. Each of these is used for a different purpose. So we have OAI Search Bot. So OAI Search Bot is used to find links that can be included in OpenAI's search results. This is really similar to Googlebot or BingBot in how it behaves and the type of content you want it to see. We also have GPT-Bot. So GPT-Bot is used for training the model. If you don't want your content included in training data, this is the bot to block. We also have ChatGPT User. So ChatGPT User is a very different kind of bot than what maybe we've traditionally thought of within SEO and GEO. So sometimes ChatGPT's LLM will decide that it needs to fetch content from a website to answer a user's prompt. And if it decides that, then it's going to send out ChatGPT user to make that request. So this is a bot that's fetching your content in real time for possible inclusion in a response. We also have a handful of other AI tools. I am not going to go through all the various AI tools that are out there because there are frankly too many, but there are several other AI bots that are notable that I think are worth paying attention to and keeping an eye on to make sure they're crawling your website correctly, because it might matter for performance in some cases. So one of those is Meta's AI tool. This identifies itself as Meta External Agent, and this is used for training its AI models. We also have a few bots from Perplexity that are crawling our website, the most important of which is Perplexity Bot. So Perplexity Bot is used for finding links to include in search results, as well as fetching training data. Perplexity also has Perplexity User. So this is similar to what I was just talking about with ChatGPT User, right? It's for interactions on the website in direct response to somebody's prompt. Anthropic also has a few different bots as well that they're sending out. The most important of which is Claude That's their main crawler, and it's used to populate its training data. So now that we've talked about those bots, the next question is, well, how do we control these bots? How do we limit or restrict access where it makes sense to manage server resources and make sure bots aren't crawling stuff they don't need to crawl? And one way we can control bots is with the robots.txt file. I have a separate video talking about how we can use the robots.txt file with disallow statements, so please check that out for more. If you have questions about how you manage bots on your website and how you need to restrict access, or if bots are crawling your website correctly right now, those are the kind of questions we help with, and I'd be happy to talk with you about that more. So if you have questions, you can email me at matthew@elementive.com. If you like this video, please subscribe or follow. Thank you so much for watching.